Hi guys, this is Mr. Khan and today we are going to discuss about the tenses in English grammar, and we'll understand the tenses with the help of structures or formulas and example sentence. So let's start. First of all, there are three tenses. Number one, present. Number two, past. Number three, future. And each tense has four aspects. Number one, simple or indefinite we call it. Number two, continuous or progressive. Number three, perfect. And number four, perfect continuous. So altogether, there are 12 types of sentences in tenses, and they are present simple, past simple, future simple, present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, present continuous, after that present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. Before starting to understand, we have to understand what is a formula. So to understand each one, we need to understand the formula and see the examples of each sentence. And before starting the formula, we must understand basics of formula. And there's an example of present continuous. That is a formula of present continuous, and this contains the elements S. S means subject, and subject means doer of action. Then comes is, am, are. These are helping verb or auxiliary verbs. Then verbs fourth form. Verb means action, and then comes the fourth form of verb. And in the last we have got O, object, person or thing action is acted upon. So that is example of formula. So we'll start with the present simple first. Present simple or indefinite, second most used tense in tenses. So first of all, we have got the formula. Subject was first form, S, ES, IES, and object. So what is this S, ES, IES? Basically, when we have got he, she, it, any singular noun. So what we do, we add S, ES, or IES to verb, and in negative or interrogative form, we add does not in negative and does with interrogative. And with I, you, we, they, we use do not and do in interrogative. And when we do have I, you, we, they, we do not add S, ES or IES with the sentence. So the example sentences are he eats. Here we have added S. He eats an apple. But with we didn't add anything. So it is we eat an apple. And likewise in negative. So subject do, does, and then not. Verse first one object. Do we put with are you with it, and does we put with he, she, it, any singular noun. And examples are he does not. Here does not. He does not eat an apple, but with we put we do not. With I, you, we, they, we use do not in negative. And in interrogative, sorry, in interrogative, do, does in the start of sentence, after that subject, then verse first form and object. An example you can see here, does he eat an apple? Does we put in the start, and likewise do in the start at the beginning of the sentence, do we eat an apple? So that is affirmative, then negative, then interrogative. So we have these three examples of present simple. Then comes past simple or indefinite. So formulae are subject, verb second form. That is the only form where we use verb's second form. In tenses, that is the only place where we use verb's second form. With all means there is no difference between he, she, it, single noun, or I, you, we, they, and plural noun. So the example sentence is he ate, the second form of eat, an apple, and with we, again the second form, we ate an apple. In the negative form, in the negative sentence, we use as subject, then did not, then was first form. Keep in mind, student, make the mistakes here. Normally, we use second form in the affirmative, and the correct form for the negative or interrogative is first form. In other words, when we use did with the sentence, we use first form. So the example sentence is he did not eat an apple, and we did not eat an apple. And interrogative, did he eat an apple, and did we eat an apple? So in interrogative, we put did in front of the remaining part of the sentence. So in past simple, in affirmative sentence, we use second form of verb, while in negative and interrogative, we use first form of verb when we use did in the sentence. So that is our past indefinite. Next to come is future simple or indefinite. So the formula are subject, then will, then was first form, and object. And in negative, we use not here after will, and in interrogative, we bring the will in front of the remaining part of the sentence or in the beginning of the sentence. An example sentence is he will eat an apple or we will eat an apple. I'm not going to discuss the shall here because normally it is considered right in American English. So to make the things easier for the students to understand, now I'm discussing about the will only. And in negative sentence, he will not eat an apple or we will not eat an apple. And interrogative, will, in the beginning of sentence, will he eat an apple or will we eat an apple? So that is a future simple. Next to come is excuse me, present continuous, and the formula are subject, then is mr plus was fourth form and object, and in negative form we put not after the is mr or helping verbs, and in interrogative we bring is mr in the beginning of the sentence. And the example sentences are he is eating an apple or we are eating an apple. We are eating apples, of course, not the apple, because we are more than one. And he's eating an apple or we are not eating apples. Negative. And then interrogative, is he eating an apple or are we eating an apple? Are we eating apples? So that is present continuous. Now where we use am, is and are, so here's the list. With I we use am, with he, she, it, any single noun we use is, and with you, we, they or plural nouns we use are. Next to come is past continuous. It is similar to present continuous except these two words. The helping verbs are different, and that is was here for the singular and were for the plural most of the time. And fourth form of verb means ing form and then object. Similarly, in the negative we use not here after was or were, and in interrogative we bring was or were in the beginning of the sentence. So the examples are he was eating an apple, we were eating an apple, we were eating apples, and he was not eating an apple and we were not eating apples. And in interrogative, was or were in the beginning of the sentence, Was he eating an apple or were we eating apples? Where do we use was? I, he, she, it, any single noun, we use was. You, we, they, any plural nouns, we use were. Next to come future continuous. Subject, then will be, then was fourth form and object. In negative, we put not after will. Mostly we add not or any other helping verb just after will. And it will be between will and be. Not will be added between will and be. And similarly, in the interrogative sentence, we bring only will in the beginning of sentence. Be would be at the same place where it was before. So the example sentences are: he will be eating an apple. Next, we will be eating apples. In negative, we will not be eating an apple. And in negative, we will not be eating apples. In interrogative, will we be eating an apple or will we be eating apples? These are the interrogative sentences. Next to come is present perfect. Subject, has and have, verb, third form and object. In all three perfect tenses we use verb third form, like in all continuous we use verb fourth form. So subject, has or have, verb third form and object. Next, subject, has, have, and then we put not after has or have, and then verb third form and object. And in interrogative, after has or have, we put subject or we bring has or have in the beginning of the sentence. Third form remains the same in all. So the example sentences are: in affirmative, he has eaten an apple. And with the plurals, we have eaten apples. Next, negative, he has not eaten an apple, or we have not eaten apples. And in interrogative sentence, we put has or have in the beginning of the sentence, so it becomes: has he eaten an apple, or have we eaten an apple, or have we eaten apples. Where do we use has and have? So he, she, it, single noun, we use has, and I, you, we, they, we use have. Next to come is past perfect, and the formula for the past perfect is subject, had, verb, third form and object. In negative, we put not after had, and in interrogative, we bring had in the beginning of the sentence. Similar formula is there, but in present perfect we have has or have. In past we have got all had. In all sentences we use had in past perfect. So the example sentences are: he had eaten an apple, or we had eaten apples. In negative, he had not eaten an apple, or we had not eaten apples. In interrogative sentence, we bring had in front or in the beginning of the sentence. So it is: had he eaten an apple, or had we eaten apples. Next to come future perfect. So we have got subject, then will have, then was third form and object. As usual, we use third form in all perfect aspects. So in negative we have subject, then will not have. We put not between will and have, and then third form and object. And in interrogative we bring only will in the beginning of sentence, have remain at the same place. So will, subject, then have, then verb, third form and object. And the example sentences are: affirmative, he will have eaten an apple. Another example: we will have eaten apples. Negative, he will not have eaten an apple, or we will not have eaten apples. And in interrogative, only will be brought forward. So will he have eaten an apple, or will we have eaten apples? So that is for future perfect. Now comes the present perfect continuous. In present perfect we used has, have and verb short form. Here we will use has, have after subject, and then we add been, and then verb fourth form, the form with the ing and the object. In the negative, again after has or have we add not, then been, then verb fourth form and object. And in interrogative we bring only has or have in the beginning of the sentence, then comes subject, and then been, and then verb fourth form and object. So the example sentences are: he has been eating an apple. So we have has and been. And in plurals we have been eating apples. So now you should be aware of that have we use with I, you, we, they and pronouns, and has with he, she, it, any singular name. And in negative we put not before been or between has and been. So the sentence is: he has not been eating an apple, or we have not been eating apples. And in an interrogative sentence we bring only has or have in the beginning of the sentence. So the sentence is now: has he been eating an apple with question mark, and have we been eating apples. So that is a present perfect continuous. Next to come is past perfect continuous, and the formula for that is subject, then had been, then verb's fourth form, the ing form, and then object. As we have seen present in past perfect, we use had with all, so the same applies here. And in negative sentence, we use not between had and been, then verb's fourth form and object. And interrogative, we bring had in the beginning of the sentence, and been remains at the same place. So the example sentences are: he had been eating an apple, we had been eating apples. In negative, we put not between had and been. So he had not been eating an apple, or we had not been eating apples. In interrogative sentence, we only bring had in the front of the sentence or the beginning of the sentence, and it becomes: had he been eating an apple, or had we been eating apples. So that is a past perfect continuous. And the last one is future perfect continuous, and the formula for that is: first subject, in future perfect continuous sentence the formula is subject, then will have, then been, then verb fourth form and object. In negative we have subject, then will not have been. So we put not after will, and then then have, then been, then verb fourth form and object. And in interrogative sentence we bring the will in the beginning of the sentence, then subject, have been at the same place, and then verb fourth form and object. So the example sentences are: he will have been eating an apple, or we will have been eating apples. Will have been with all means I, you, we, they single name, or you, we, or he, she, it singular, whatever it is. So he will have been eating an apple, or we will have been eating apples. In negative, he will not, after will we put not, have been eating an apple, or we will not have been eating apples. And interrogative, we will bring only will in the beginning of the sentence, so it becomes: will he have been eating an apple, or will we have been eating an apple. Just keep in mind that is he, and we are using here have because it is not directly interacting with this one, but it is a part of the will have been. so it won't change, it will remain will he have been. Okay guys, these are the sentences with a formula of all the tenses, and here's a complete summary of all these uh, tenses we have covered. Mostly in present simple we use verbs first form, except only this sentence we use in all verbs first form. And next to come here we use helping verb and fourth form. In all continuous we use verb fourth form, ing form, and then present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect we use verbs third form in all these three. And in the last we have got present perfect continuous, we use helping verbs with verbs fourth form again. So fourth, third, fourth, and first except this one. So that was a summary of the tenses. I hope you understand. And if you have got any question, any query regarding any of these things, or if you want to learn in more details, or you have got any tricky question, feel free to contact me or comment below, and I will try my best to answer you as soon as possible. So yeah, if you've got any question, write in the comment below, and obviously please like and subscribe if you learn something, and it will give you more motivation so that I can share more videos as well. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.